Oh, first off, to my hats off to App State. They played great. I felt like watching film yesterday. They were tough and they battled and they did things that I haven't necessarily seen in film, and so it was important to us as a staff to be able to prepare our team to understand what they're going to see that was different than when we played them at our place. And so my hat definitely goes off to them. Angel does a great job. I've got a lot of respect for her. I've said this multiple times. Not only do I have respect for her as a coach, I have respect for her as a person. She is a survivor of cancer. She's just a tough person. I've known her for a long time. So hats off to them. I had an understanding this game was going to be a battle the entire time, largely because of our styles of play are pretty different. I think they do a really good job of mixing it up. They've been playing a lot more zone, and we prepared for that to the best of our ability moving forward. I thought we started off right away, right out the bat, really strong. And then App really battled back after that. It was going to be really important that we settled down and we did a better job coming out of halftime understanding what they're going to do. And we found that, right? It took us a little while to get our stride going, but we found that as the game went on, and then we found a way to close it because it did get a little dicey there towards the end, with ball security for both teams.
Okay, we'll open up for questions. Coach, you talked about that strong start. Really coming out in that first quarter with 17 points. What was the mentality going into that fourth quarter? Really close game, close down the stretch, as you mentioned. But your team was able to hit a lot of big shots, and Denasia Hood had an outstanding game.
Well, the talk you heard, and a lot of it, came from the team, was mostly about just finding a way to finish. We've been working hard for this. Is what we trained for, and they made it easy for me. I was like, of course. That's exactly what we did. And, Lauren was a loud voice going into that fourth quarter about, hey, we got plenty of time to rest later. I get it. There's plenty of time to rest right now. It's go time. And so that's what you need. That's what you need from a veteran crew. I thought Lauren today was an X factor, which was just awesome. She's coming into her own. There's a lot of things that she's doing execution-wise that we really like. She's doing a better job at taking care of the basketball. To me, that was a big piece of it. And I thought she was a huge piece of our win today.
Yeah, Lauren, going on that point, you had a game-high 4 offensive rebounds. What was it like battling down there, and how'd you find yourself in great position every time?
Yeah, App was pretty tough down there on defense. They were pushing me around and everything, but I was just focused on crashing for my team. Over these last few games, I've been trying to find a way to just hit the glass harder. That's been a big focus for us. So I would just say the work finally paid off today.
Yeah, Coach, question here from Colton McWilliams, San Marcos Daily Record. How does the double bye affect the team's routine, especially after having a set routine during the majority of the season?
I think because I have a veteran team and it's late in the season, the effect wasn't as great regarding their bodies because they needed that time off, that rest. Obviously, there's a benefit in some ways because of that rest. But I think, too, when you're hot and you're playing, and you've seen that already on the men's and women's side, you can kind of build up some momentum. So to answer that question, Colton, I think for our team, with where we are as a team, we kept our routine pretty much the same within the confines of the rules of 30 minutes before. A lot of what we did is the same. I'm sure the athletes will tell you. We kept things pretty routine, whether it be just a 20-minute shoot around. We condensed it and did things that we normally do. We kept things pretty normal, and I think that really helped. And again, I'm gonna say this: having a veteran team, a team that's like many teams beat up, that extra rest actually benefited us in ways that could help us mentally to go into this scenario.
Yeah, got a question for Denasia. Absolutely great performance offensively. 4 for 6 from 3, 50% from the floor. And you picked up 7 rebounds. I mean, kind of touching the ball on all assets. What were you seeing out there, and what kind of led to that success?
I just stay patient and, work with my team, and they find ways to give me the ball. So I turn up on defense, play with my team, and we just let it translate to offense.
Yeah, this is for both the players. Talk a little bit about the stats there that aren't there. Kennedy Taylor, she has 9 assists. You guys really battling out on offensive rebounds. Don't lead rebounds total, but leading offensively. What has that teamwork really meant to you guys so far this season and moving forward in this tournament?
Well, I'll start. I'm just blessed to be able to play with players like Denasia Hood, Kendi Taylor, Jabui, Jada, people who came back to be a Bobcat and show their pride. You see that on the court every day. I personally think we have people who should have been on all conference list, player of the years, all respect to other players, but I really believe in my team and the work that we put in. So I would just say I'm blessed to play with players like them because they're going to leave it out on the floor every time like you've seen tonight. Even when we're going through ups and downs, they're going to leave it out there and I can count on them to do that. So I'll just say shout out to my team for that.
Yeah, literally what Lauren said. We have a lot of veteranness. So the teamwork and the chemistry is something we've been working on for a long time, and it's just finally showing out for us.
Yeah, and then a question for all three of you guys. Coming up, got a big matchup on Sunday. How do you prepare? You just had the double bye like we talked about, Coach. But specifically for the players, you got a day off, and then you got a big matchup on Sunday.
Well, a lot of the preparation is really going to come from letting them have some body rest, but not mental rest. And that's going to be breaking down film. This is a team that we've played twice, both home and away. They've seen us, we've seen them. So I think it's really going to come down to execution, right? Both teams' ability to be able to execute, and that's on both ends of the floor. So, well, I'm sure we're both going to come up with a game plan. But you're this deep in season, you're going to show up, all right, or you're going to wither away. And that's exactly what I told our team. And my money's on the Bobcats. I'm with my team. My money's on the Bobcats all day. We did not have one player of the week all year. And we had 2 players that made all conference, one that broke a record. I'm going to take that with me to the bank every single time. So again, we're going to take this time and allow them to have physical rest. We're not going to relax mentally because we already have a very clear understanding of what it's going to take in order for us to achieve an opportunity to really battle against a tough Southern Miss team, right? Who they're going to be fired up because we got them both times. But again, my money's always going to be on the Bobcats.
Just to go off what Coach Z said, it's all about mental toughness right now. Today we started off 0-0, so now we just have to keep focusing each game. So Southern Miss is a tough team, but I believe we're tougher.
Yep, what Lauren and Coach Z said, just continuing to focus on us, resting, preparing our minds and our body, and just coming out and executing and finish.
All right, Coach, another question here from Colton. The defense forced 24 turnovers against App State. What was the key to keeping the Mountaineer offense on their toes, especially during the fourth quarter late in that game?
I think we did a good job of mixing it up and just really again, you're going to keep hearing us say the same thing over and over. Having a veteran team or having a team that just has a mentality that wants to find a way, that's what we did. And, our next matchup, Colton, is you're talking about neck and neck. I think it's point something as far as defense goes. And so both teams are pretty defensive minded. Both teams do a good job of moving the ball to find great shots. So I'm going to say this game is going to be a grind. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be blow for blow. We're going to see some haymakers, not physically, I'm saying, but, obviously as far as the game is concerned, I think it's going to be exciting Sun Belt Conference matchup, right? An old team, a new team, 2 teams that are pretty defensive minded. Both teams have scores. I'm really excited for that moving forward.
Yeah, Coach, final question here. We're looking at the box score, but what was one area of the game that you felt like if you win this aspect, you can secure this game, and how did you plan for that?
I've always felt like the one area, if we win in this area, we'll win the game, is rebounding. And we, again, did not do that to answer your question. But allowing myself to just briefly reflect without watching the game, one thing that I was always confident in is our team's ability to be able to defend and our team's ability to be able to turn people over and then finding themselves to the free throw line. Now, we didn't execute the greatest at the free throw line, but that's one thing I really feel like we hang our hat on, and you saw us do a lot of substitutions there towards the end of the game to be able to give ourselves the best opportunities defensively and offensively. And that, for sure, I can tell you is something that I was really confident in there towards the tail end of the game.
Yeah, Coach, final one here from Colton. What does it mean being back in the tournament semifinals for the first time since 2018? And what do you think it says about the strength of this league that 3 of the semifinal teams are the new members?
Oh, I've always said, both on the men's and women's side, that we brought in great new members. It really helps us. I think there is definitely a case to be made. If you take a look at the net right, of the top 5 teams within our conference, what that looks like. We deserve opportunities to play in the postseason. We will be able to rally the MAC, if you will, the WCC, that has Gonzaga and Portland. I really strongly believe that, and you can see that here, right, with the competitiveness of these games. I mean, look at Arkansas State and what they did there in their last couple games and how they battled and they were able to advance. I think it's a really exciting conference. I'm really excited, like I said, about these opportunities. Shoot, I wish, half of us could go ahead and have postseason. I know that's, dreamland, but I can tell you for sure the one thing you're going to get out of a Sun Belt Conference team is grittiness and toughness and a team that will go toe-to-toe with any other conference out there.